Ahoy everyone, KaptainKayy here. Today's video is going to be going over the new Tarkov TV that was released in Russian that I spoke about in my most recent video. If you haven't seen that, click the one behind this one. I will put a link to the description below and tag it some way. The focus of this podcast is of course covering patch 0.12. We'll see a reveal on the work in progress material. We will be going over so many different topics, amongst them the new map, things like the upgrade to the Unity engine, Unity 2018. There will be more footage of the Ash12 50 caliber rifle. We're going to talk about the new Beretta pistol that we'll be seeing. There will be a section at the end covering mentionable discussion topics, covering things to come in 0.12 and beyond. Now, since this podcast was originally in Russian, it had to be translated. A really big thank you to Sneaky Russian 007 for translating this podcast for us live. I've included his Twitch link below. Go give him a follow and check him out. It is my hope that I can save you some time from watching the actual podcast by summarizing the notes that I took during the podcast here. With that being said, let's sail right into it. So we'll be getting another addition to the 9x19 line of guns, the Beretta M9A3. I can't wait to put some AP into this gun and go right in for the legs. I'm going to let the clip play. I'll see you after.
Если ты знаешь, я буду комментировать. Комментаторы в чате такие. Некоторые пишут со всякими знаками. Типа. Не то, что нужно это! Вот так прям сидят. Сразу вам скажу, что вы понимали, как работает компания Battle Start Pants. Она работает следующим образом. У нас есть модельеры. Они днем моделят, а ночью кодят. Вот так. И иногда я говорю, подхожу к ним и говорю, товарищи модельеры, нужно пофиксить багов побольше сегодня и фризы. Но давайте не будем этого делать, давайте лучше беретту вставим. Они такие, да! Вот. Делаем беретту и вставляем ее. И не фиксим баги. Потому что моделеры также кодят у нас. Вот. Если кто-то после этого все равно будет.
Another weapon coming to 0.12 is going to be the Ash12, and man, this gun looks like insanity. Nikita specifically said this is going to be a destroyer on factory. It's a 50 caliber anti-material rifle. Nikita stated a base value for the ammo at 100 damage and 20 pin. His specific comments were that the Ash-12 is going to annihilate everything on factory. See you after the clip.
Да вон он!
Скоро закончится.
Вон он упырь!
We see a brief video of the new KS-23 shotgun that'll be coming. From my understanding, this thing is a shotgun that is barreled like a rifle. This gun was advertised as an MC250. I wasn't able to find a example of it or reference. If anybody knows anything about this gun, if they could put it in the comments section, that would be amazing. This is a shotgun with a revolver-like chamber system. Looks pretty interesting. We have an early work in progress model of the belt-fed stationary machine gun. This is going to be mounted on the roofs of the military base. I imagine it's going to be quite hectic if you run by one. There were a lot of guns that were talked about, either coming soon or coming in the next patch. All of the footage you've seen of the weapons that have models already, I think it's safe to say that those will be coming in 0.12. There were so many guns that were talked about that I'm just gonna name them off here and say coming soon TM. So there was the G36, the G3, the AUG, the FAMAS, the M16A4, the MDR762, the 338 Magnum. Perhaps we'll get the AS Val, Mod 3, the SCAR, the Chris Vector, which will be coming with the 1911 as well, the SR3M, the AN94, the Glock 19, the UMP45, the PP19 Bizon, the revolver shotgun, the MC250, the Beretta 92F, the Ash-12, and the stationary machine gun. I mean, there's so many new guns coming. Nikita did say that he wants to add more AKs, so more Kalashnikov. He wants every variant covered in the game at some point. I believe he mentioned that he wants to add the Gurkha series rifles as well. Nikita did say specifically, and this was mentioned twice, that the Kar 98 will not be in Tarkov. They stated that it just doesn't feel like it fits in Tarkov. Camouflaging rifles may come at some point, but it is not a priority right now. So there are a ton of new mods. I mean, we're looking at rails, we're looking at sights, we're looking at magazines. I honestly didn't think that it was possible for a scope to get uglier than the cheapest night vision scope we have currently. But man, this thing looks like it takes the cake. Look at that. Looks like we've got a new laser here. Right here, we're looking at a new AK chassis. Looks fancy. Now this is a new Saiga 20-round mag coming soon. It looks insanely sick with that decal on the front. The 10-rounders are already basically meme machines. So this is a recoilless rifle. These things fire huge projectiles designed to destroy tanks. And that's about everything I gleaned from the 30-second Google search I did into them. It's cool to see the high-end Steiner line being brought into the game. This is actually a laser, a Steiner laser. Looks like we've got a lower handguard for the AKM here. This URX 3.1 4-end assembly is actually for the AR-15s. Now I'm going to butcher the name. I believe it's Aklis, but this is actually for the AK. It is a suppressor with the barrel built into the suppressor. Most of the time we're used to seeing the suppressors outside of the barrel, but this one you actually have to replace the barrel assembly to attach it. This is a handguard for the AKM, the AK-74, and the 101 and the 103 according to the manufacturer's website. We've got a Yukon Sentinel 2.5 scope here, not too much else to report. And the underbarrel grenade launcher attachment, which I remember them talking about since 2017. I'm glad to see it's finally coming in 0.12. I wasn't able to glean any more information off of this scope based off of the footage provided, but man, look at that hammer and sickle. Nikita didn't really talk too much about the military base. That was covered in the last Tarkov TV podcast. Nikita did say, of course, there will be a boss on this map, which will take up positions. It'll be like, for example, in one raid, he'll be on a specific rooftop. In the next raid, he will be on another rooftop, but he's not going to move. He's going to be a stationary boss, and you're going to have to assault his position to get the goodies. There will be new loot containers. Extractions won't be free like labs. They'll be dynamic. You'll have to do something to open up the extract. It will be 2/3 the size of woods. There wasn't much more information about the map that wasn't already covered, so I'm going to move on to the next subject, which is the upgrade to Unity 2018. Nikita stated that upgrading to Unity 2018 will likely be the only upgrade that they're going to do to the engine. He stated that Unity 2019 isn't very networking friendly. He stated that Unity 2018 will bring changes that won't be seen really in terms of the game's graphics. It'll be the technical backend of the game, which will be changing drastically. There will be new rendering and new anti-aliasing methods coming. Nikita was told just today that the physics have been optimized under the new Unity build to a point where it takes up 2 times less the amount of resources on your computer it used to. So we should see better optimization coming in the Unity 2018 build. The next subject that I'm going to cover is balancing changes and technical changes. So Nikita was talking about how often now 2 parties will walk into the same building just trying to loot. They won't be aware that the other party is there. Nikita wants to make it so that parties find each other more frequently for fights. He didn't elaborate on how, but that was discussed. It was brought up that on woods in certain spots at 100 to 200 meters out, if you look out at a player, the grass and basically the object's LOD doesn't load in. So that player is easily seen. Basically, the grass does not render. There was a suggestion to have the long grass just become short grass, I guess to help with optimization. Nikita called that a plan B, and I didn't really find any planned solution from the discussion on this, but I found it worth mentioning. So there won't be hard gates for quests next wipe. I believe what they mean by this is like currently there are quests where in order for you to get to the quest line, you have to reach a certain skill level. I believe they mean they're going to remove the caps on this. The idea was brought up that for some of these quests that recently annoyed the player base, like wearing a specific set of armor and killing scavs, for example, that they make that an optional part of the quest, and that if you achieve it, you get a bonus reward, but otherwise let the player play it the way they want without getting the additional reward. Nikita said he'll take note of this. Nikita's thoughts on balancing recoil. So Nikita thinks that recoil is in a good place right now. He explains his feelings that stock weapons have a lot of recoil and that they've rebalanced the mods and continue to rebalance the mods. Nikita noted that there's a very different experience when you fire weapons based off of the recoil builds that you have, and that they're satisfied with this. I know there's a good bit of the player base that wants to see an overhaul to the reloading system. Sorry guys, doesn't look like it's coming anytime in the future. So this next section, I'm just going to label it as miscellaneous because we're going to cover a lot of different topics here. First off, VoIP should be in 0.12. There will be radio-based communication, but the ability to hear will be based off distance and obstacles that are in between you, etc. I don't know if that'll be the only way to communicate via VoIP or not. Nikita also said that he is open to app developers reaching out to BSG to make an app for retrieving insurance on the go. That would be pretty cool. Eventually, our matchmaking system is going to change where you're going to be able to invite people to your squad outside of the lobby, kind of like in Apex Legends or PUBG, where you form your group and then you start matchmaking. The UBGL grenade launcher for the AK will not be coming in 0.12. The compass was planned for 0.12, but this will be pushed back. Nikita doesn't want to use a PUBG style compass. He wants the UI to be as clean as possible. There will be a separate compass that is free that will just point you north on the watch. The idea was brought up to have an explanation of how to level your skills and the amount of skills leveled in the post-raid report. That would be interesting. Nikita said he'll take note of this. For all of you Reshade users, Nikita has said that he is going to start banning for certain Reshade capabilities that you can use. They may just make using Reshade a bannable outright. On the topic of esports, Nikita says it's possible. This is something that will be much further down the line. There's no promise that the new audio system will be coming in 0.12. There is a lot of kinks they have to work in terms of positioning out with it. In your hideout, you'll have to make meds, make ammunition. You may be able to cook food. There was also mention of like strength training, so like pressing on a bench to improve your strength, but it wasn't clear whether all of those features will be available at hideout's release or not. On the topic of the clan system, it's not a priority at the moment. It will be available post-launch. So dynamic spawn of loot isn't currently being worked on. That'll be a feature that is coming soon, but not an immediate release date. So on interchange, there are sometimes fog where you kind of can't see in the map. Nikita says that they're not going to be removing this because of the LOD rendering. So there will be Lighthouse Terminal coming soon. They will be cutting back on some of the maps and rehashing some of them. There are 4 locations to be added left. The village is going to be removed. That was something they had planned. There will be a village. This may come in the form of DLC. Woods is going to be expanded. There will be a small village added to Woods. Now, I don't know if this is all coming in 0.12, but there will be new heads, faces, upper and lower clothing options. Bears and Usex will have completely different sets of clothing, and the opposite faction won't be able to wear their rivals' clothing. Also, Nikita stated that there will be a new track that he's writing for the new trader. He also mentioned something I found interesting, which was he listens to classic rap. He's been listening to a lot of metalcore lately to get inspiration on the new track he's writing, and he's also been working on his guitar riffs. And that marks the end of this video. If you're still here with me, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. You can catch me on Twitch most nights starting at 10:30 p.m. EST, 11 EST, and going to 2 a.m. in the morning. Catch you guys on the next video.